especially with a like 6 paragraph decision. Like, if you're a lawyer and you want to bring this as a case forward, there's not a lot of meat to provide another arbitrator or another judge being like, oh, look at what happened in this decision, because there's not a lot there to justify. That's why the context is so important in decisions. Like, what was the reasoning behind it? And here, really, you don't see a lot. Like, I actually, if you don't mind, maybe put the decision on the screen so people can see
Yeah.
how incredibly short it was. Like, this is on behalf of 46 or so workers, nurses. So the introduction, this is facts. Now we got
Yeah.
to the decision, 2 pages, boom, you're
That's
done.
it. Yeah. And
So
the appendix is almost as long as the decision.
yeah. So, it's hard to really glean a lot of information from that. And I read it, and that's where we already kind of clashed online when I said that doesn't really make sense. And then it doesn't really provide that context you're looking for.
Yeah. Well, speaking of this, how short this is, I'm going to share my little screed that I went on online here. So I took I took a screenshot and I highlighted this because I was just so righteously indignant when I read it. So this is paragraph 6 and 7 of this arbitration decision. I'll read all of it. People on the screen can see the highlighted parts. So arbitrator, whatever his name is, says, not surprisingly, arbitrators have found that a requirement to be vaccinated against COVID-19 in a healthcare setting is reasonable. However, no arbitral consensus has emerged with respect to the consequences for employees who chose not to be vaccinated or disclose their vaccination status. As I pointed out at the hearing, each case is different and must be assessed on its specific facts, namely after the policy is reviewed, the specific circumstances of the workplace are assessed, as is the manner in which the discipline was imposed. Based on the very unique circumstances at William Osler Health System, I find that the grievers in this matter were terminated for just cause. The employees chose not to be vaccinated, and as a result, they were not reasonably available to attend at work, which at a minimum severely and negatively impacted the employment relationship. That being said, the individual grievers were misguided, and their conduct was not with any malicious intent. So I read this, and I just, it made me so mad, because I was like, okay, so this is a person who he just fundamentally doesn't understand, in my opinion, the point that he is arbitrating against, because I don't believe that any of the individual grievers would describe themselves as misguided in their conduct. I agree that I said in my little bit here that that's the only part that he gets right, is because they were not acting with any malicious intent, but this notion that they were misguided or the kind of the implication that they were just misinformed or they were propagandized or whatever the case may be, I just don't think that that's right. And I don't think that that is the point of why they behaved in the way that they did.
Well, great, Mike. So you don't have to argue it, because there's decisions that already say what you're saying. And I just pulled up the Teamsters and Purolator one that we were just talking about.
Nice.
To give you context, that one, at least online, when it turns it into a PDF, like it has a table of contents telling you how big it is, how long it is. 569 pages, possibly. Or that.
Oh, here, 196 pages. Ooh.
Yeah. And this is where you could get actual context. And I actually love that we saw that one. And that's interesting to see your reaction to. Like, that's not fair. That's not right. And, although one thing I would say about it too is the result was good. So if you're one of those grievers, like, accept your win, take it, because going through litigation is never fun. That's another thing. There's always opportunity, and that's why I'm so excited about talking about these things. And hopefully with my book, is I think that the more we challenge these things, the more we get there. So we shouldn't expect everything solved in one case at one time, but we have to keep challenging things to get, there's a lot of gray in these things, and we have to keep figuring out, finding that balance where it's right. But like, this is a decision we could talk about.
Oh yeah,
This is
516. Ooh,
yeah.
goodness
This
me.
is
Can you see
this is
the cursor on the live thing? Look
Yeah,
how
how
small
small that
cursor
bar is.
Holy